G'day everybody, it's Kim here from Kim's Homestead. How are you all today? All doing well, I hope. Well, today I'm in the kitchen and I'm starting to clean out the freezers. So what I have is a huge big shopping bag that's completely overflowing of different sorts of fruit. Also, a lovely neighbour of mine has given me some a heap of citrus. So there's grapefruits, oranges, and lemons there. Plus I've got a heap of peels that I had stored in the freezers, which also need to have something done. So with the mixed fruits, I thought I would make most of that into a like a fruit syrup, and that way later on I can turn it into either jams or chutneys or whatever I want down the track. With the citrus, I'm going to make some marmalade, so that will be nice. And if I get the time, I've also got a cherry marmalade that I have to finish. That's being stored in the freezer at the moment, so it can probably wait until the very last end anyway. This is probably going to take 2-3 days at least, so we'll see. Anyway, I've got 2 big pots out of the pantry, and the bags are, well, the bag of fruit, which I'm going to sort into what I want done with it before putting it on the stove. So let's get over and have a look at what we have. Okay, so we have lemon peel, mandarin peel and orange peel. Now these ones are going to go into the marmalade. Now in the pot I have a bag of mulberries. There's a bag of, looks to be mango, and a bag of orange pips. Now, why would I keep orange pips? Well, this is pectin, so it's going to go into the pot of mixed fruits, which will help to stabilise it and to firm it up, and these will be siphoned out later on. I also have a couple of bags of zest. Now, I think there's one orange zest and one lemon zest. Those I may put in the freezer here actually. There's one of lemon wedges, which will also go in the freezer. Let's see, I have some strawberries, some nectarines, This is rhubarb, so the strawberries can go with the rhubarb. I have, let's see, orange wedges, so that can go with the marmalade. There's 2 orange wedges. And some mandarin wedges, so they can also go with the marmalade. Cherry glaze. Cherry glaze gravy. Okay. Well, that can go in with a stew. And let's see, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of mulberries. So it looks like this one is going to be a mulberry sauce. Right. So, all I have to do is open the bags and put it in the pot. Right, so to this big pot, which is pretty full, I'm going to add 1 jug of water. Now most of this water will evaporate as the fruit is cooking. Not all, but I can thicken it later on. Right, this will go on the stove and start cooking down. In the inside freezer, I had another big bag of strawberries, which can be used with the rhubarb. Right, this one here is about 300 mils of water. So that one's also ready for the stove. This one here about a cupful in there, half a cup maybe. I just don't want it to burn. Right, we'll put that on the stove to thaw out. I'll just check the freezer for more fruit. So, now that I'm ready to make the cherry marmalade again, into the pot goes the cherries. I've got a few extra cherries here for the marmalade, so it won't really matter that much. I'm not going to make them into anything else, so they may as well go into the marmalade. And here I may as well just throw in an extra orange. I've got heaps of it at the moment. Here is our orange. Now, I will probably chop up another orange once this is all thawed out. And I'm just going to add just a small amount of water so the heat doesn't burn the fruit. And I'll put it on very, very low so that it thaws out. And then I'll add the other bit of orange once I've got it done, and then we'll be ready for the sugar. So I'll just pop this on the stove. What I'll do for the other marmalade is, when all the fruit segments are thawed out and cooking away, I'm going to get out my little moolie and I will separate all the seeds from the actual fruit. And that way then I can put in the fruit peel, and that will help to with the pectin. But what I will do in the meantime is, all this fruit has to be chopped up. So here I've got a pair of herb scissors which chops it up really nice. And see, chops it up into very thin little strips, which is just what you want for marmalade jam. So I will get 2, and I've got 3 of these to do. So there'll be quite a bit when I'm done. So I'll bring you back when all that's done. Well, day 2. I've got the orange juice all, well, the orange segments, they're all blended, strained and back in the pot, and they've just come up to a boil. Now yesterday I cut up and shredded all the orange peel, so that I'm about to put into the pot, and then I will add 7 cups of sugar. Well, this one I'm not making into a jam. This is the mulberries. I'm going to make this into a sauce. That way I can turn it into pretty much whatever I want later on. So it has been cooked down. It has been all the solids and that strained out of it, or most of it anyway. And now it's just liquid and a little bit of pulp. So I'm bringing it back up to the heat again. And then I'll just add a little bit of sugar, boil it for about a minute, and then it'll be ready for jarring up. So I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, so it's just coming up to the boil now. Now I've got 4 cups of sugar here. As I said, I'm not turning it into a jam. It's just going to be a syrup. I'll wait until the sugar's dissolved. Boil this for about a minute and it'll be ready to jar up. Okay, so I ran out of battery. So the sugar's in, it's boiled for another minute, and it's now time to jar it up. Now I'm doing it very slowly because the jars are not hot. So therefore they need to be tempered. Right, all ready for canning. Well, everybody's in the hot tub. Now I've got a double stack there. I've got a couple of jars out, there's one more there I may try and fit in, we'll see. I'm going to, instead of water bath canning these, I'm actually going to steam can them in my pressure canner. Now, you do them for the same time as you would water bath canning, and I've got the pints of syrup down in the bottom and the jam up the top. They both actually can for the same amount of time, which in my altitude is 10 minutes. I am, however, going to leave them in there for 15 minutes because the syrup down the bottom it's got a lot of pulp in it, so it's actually quite thick. So I'm going to let it can for 15 minutes in my pressure canner, which I'm going to use as a steam canner. Well, it's been a busy couple of days. This is, goodness, what is it, Thursday. This is the last week of the Pantry challenge, and I've been very, very busy trying to pull out, trying to clean out the freezers actually. So, as you saw, I had a whole heap of fruit. Well, I've made two lots of jam and a lot of syrup, and the first load is in the canner at the moment, and it's steam canning. Plus, I'm making a roast chicken for tea tonight, and I thought, well, while I'm making that, a roast chicken is too much, so I'm going to make a freezer meal as well. So I'll have a nice roast chicken in the freezer. So the chicken's probably about an hour off being done. Plus, in between all that, I juiced up a 3-litre container of orange juice that one of our lovely neighbours brought over. Now I've still got a heap of grapefruit, and I think I'm just going to juice those as well. And I've still got a heap of lemons. Now the lemons, I actually want to use their peel as a sugar peel, same as the oranges that I've got left. I'm going to candy the peel and have jars of candied peel in the pantry. I quite like it just as a little snack of the night time, especially when I'm really looking for something sweet. And it's one of the healthier options. Not that sugar's all that healthy, it's not. But if you're going to have a sugar treat, it's best off being as healthy as possible. and the peel is from the Meyer lemons, which is really soft and tender. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to use it. So, well, it's the next day again. So this took 3 days. I did sort of span it out and just took my time. That's why it took 3 days. But I finished the last of the processing yesterday. So what I got out of that big bag of fruit pieces, I got 12 of the marmalade, I got 7 of the cherry marmalade. Now a couple of them are already gone and one of the marmalades I sent off a marmalade and a cherry jam around to my sister's. Hi sis. So I hope she liked them. And I've already eaten probably one already. Naughty girl. And also out of what's left of the mulberries, I've got 5 quarts of mulberry syrup. So this I can make into sauces or jams, or even just as a refreshing juice or whatever come summertime, even as just as a cordial. So I can turn that into so many different things. So that's what, 12, that's 24, 25 assorted jars of something that's going to quite happily sit on my pantry shelves, because it will be a while before I actually go through this lot. Most of the marmalade I'm actually going to gift to my friends, my neighbours, my relatives, whoever will take it. So mainly to the people in the courtyard where I live. So they'll be the beneficiaries of my marmalade jam. I hope they like it. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Yeah, so if you've got any bits and pieces laying around in your freezer, just gather them all up, put them into something usable, and I'm sure you'll come up with a few ideas depending on what you have. If it's fruit, it could be jams, sauces, syrups, anything. Yeah. And if it's vegetables, you can make vegetable stews, vegetable soups, what are they called? Gratins, bakes, anything like that. Turn it into something usable, maybe freezer meals. anything like that. Put it in your freezer, and when you don't feel like cooking one night, just pull it out into the oven and it's ready to go. It's better than takeaway at any time. Alright, well that's it for me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big fruity thumbs up. And if you like my videos, think about subscribing. That would help my channel out tremendously. Alright friends, well, I will see you again very soon with another video. Bye for now.